The Scottish Resistance is a weapon that I haven't seen much use. I've recently been interested in trying to use this weapon since I've been bored of the normal sticky bomb launchers, but it's strange that not many people do use it, and whether or not that's because it's a terrible weapon or that it just doesn't have the potential that anybody sees is something I want to discuss. The last time, it's funny that this weapon has become a stagnant weapon. The last time it was changed was the Manconomy update in 2010, September 30th to be exact. And that's whenever it gave it the stats it has now. It's never been changed since 2010. So why don't we discuss what could we do to change this weapon to make it better if it needs to be, to make it another viable weapon that Devilman can possibly use. And I think that there could be some things that we could do. And that's what I have to discuss today. First, I'll read off what the Scottish Resistance does. It has a plus 25 firing speed. It also has a plus 50% maximum secondary ammo on wearer. It also has 6 max pipe bombs out. And the interesting thing about this weapon is the different mechanic it has, which is it detonates stickies near the crosshair and directly under your feet. And it's able to destroy enemy sticky bombs. Now this doesn't come with its down effects, and the one thing that goes to balance this weapon is that it has a 0.8 second slower bomb arm time. Now you might think that the 0.8 slower bomb time is a bit random, but if you do look at the normal sticky bomb arm time, it arms in 0.7 seconds. So adding that with that, it actually evens it out to 1.5 seconds before that thing can be armed. Looking at the stats, you can tell what this weapon was made for. With the 14 sticky bombs that you can be able to place down and have them exist simultaneously, it's made to be a trap weapon. You can place different traps in different places, holding different positions, and only choosing certain areas to detonate. This makes it effective. You can place maybe 4 or 5 different traps here next to the cart, and maybe you can place a bunch of traps to a position where you're standing, so you can hold that position and maintain that defensive part right there. Notice how I've said defensive, because this weapon is not an offensive weapon at all. If you try to use this offensively, you're going to be destroyed with it. Your best bet is to use a quickie bomb launcher or the normal sticky bomb launcher instead of this one, or maybe just go ahead and do Devil Knight. This is not a sticky spam weapon. If you try to sticky spam with this, the enemy is going to know exactly when the bomb is going to be detonated. They have plenty of time to react. They have a second and a half to react to the sticky bomb being shot at them. So pyros can easily deflect and send out sticky bombs away, so that they are practically useless whenever you're trying to spam them. You can send out more, but they still know that they're coming and they can get away easily. A sticky bomb spam is primarily used so that they can't get away from it. You spam them right there, and if you have to wait for a long period of time, you can't do anything to really counter that, and they just run away from it. The weapon is also really good on MVM. Back when I played a lot of MVM and I played Demoman, I would use the Scottish Resistance. You can up the time of how many it holds and how much it fires. You can basically just place down a bunch of traps and wait for the robots to come by. And that was really effective because it is defensive and you knew exactly where they would go. You place down the traps, you probably place down all 14 sticky bombs right there. Maybe you have a critical medic, you place them all down, wait for all the medics to come on the robot, and then explode them all at once. So it's very good with MVM, however, not very good with offensive in the normal game. On the note that the sticky bombs detonate near the crosshair, try to imagine there being a circle around your crosshair, and no matter how far or how close you are, that circle will be what the sticky bombs will explode in. So if you're across the map and you know where your sticky bombs were laid, then you can explode them all at once. But if you're closer and you're maybe a couple meters away, you have to prioritize which one you want to explode if you have to explode both of them at the same exact time. And you can sticky jump with this one. And it's it's hard to sticky jump with this one. You can do one jump, but don't try to do the combo jump with the normal stuff because you're not going to be able to do it at all. The one place that this weapon falters is how unreliable it can become. I'd rather use the normal sticky bomb launcher for the aforementioned sticky spam, but also to create traps, as this does have the potential to create bigger and more traps to be used. However, you place them down, then you gotta wait. If you want to create a new trap, you're gonna have to take some time, and it takes a little bit more time to create those traps than it does the normal sticky bomb. You might be able to get them all down faster, but you'll have to wait a little bit longer to detonate them, and to even use the extra 6, as by the time you're already used up all of your sticky bombs in the Scottish Resistance, the normal sticky bomb would have already used every single one of those, and would be reloading 6 to just use those extra ones. The uniqueness of this weapon is something I don't want to change. The ability to have 14 sticky bombs out in the field at once is something that I want to keep, as well as the ability to detonate certain traps at different times. Instead of having the 25% faster firing speed and the 50% maximum ammo, secondary ammo, why don't we remove those and place the ability to have an ammo capacity of 14. That way you don't have to reload when you're trying to place down these traps, and still it's not fast enough to be spammed like the quickie bomb or the sticky bomb launcher. It still has that ability to only be defensive and not take precedence over an offensive sticky bomb launcher. The viability of these weapons are something that I want to make. I want there to be offensive sticky bomb launchers, and then this one to be a defensive sticky bomb launcher. Making this so good that it'll be offensive is something that I don't want to happen. I want there to be, if you're playing in like a payload game and you're on attack, you want to look at 3 choices of sticky bombs and go, yes, I could play as the quickie bomb launcher or the sticky bomb launcher, but the Scottish Resistance I don't want to. Now, if the map changed sides and you were playing on defensive, you could see, I would like to either play with the Scottish Resistance or the sticky bomb launcher. Maybe the quickie bomb, but it looks like these two might be the most viable things on defense. And it still would be that the sticky bomb launcher would not be useless against the Scottish Resistance. The Scottish Resistance would just have a better ability to do its job. And even with the changes, it could be that I'm underestimating the ability that it would have at this. I think there could be a possibility, why not just make it a little bit faster, 10% faster firing speed, or maybe that would make it a little overpowered. But anything to make it a viable option is something that would be interesting to do to this weapon. If Valve ever decides to listen to me, that would be amazing. But as of now, the Scottish Resistance only has what it is been for about 6 years. So to effectively use the Scottish Resistance, I like to name it to be something of a point holder, position holder, if you will. Not something that you will use to take a position, but something you would use defensively to hold a position. You could be on a payload map or a CP map, and you could place the sticky bombs in a way to cover the flank and to watch for something coming. You could place it on different doorways and different places. If they decide to go this way, you can detonate them on here. You can place 7 on one door, 7 on another. You don't want to cover your flank. Wait and see which side do they go on. If they go on this one, you have 7 sticky bombs to use on them. If they go on this one, you have 7 over here. It's something that you can cover 2 sides at once without having to worry about rationing out 8 sticky bombs onto 4 different places and hope you get lucky, or placing all 8 on one spot and hope you get lucky there. I definitely wouldn't use this sticky bomb launcher, the Scottish Resistance, alone as the primary focus as the sticky bomb launcher and the only thing you damage with. You have to be really good with using a grenade launcher. You wouldn't want to be using this as a base jumper rogue thing. It's not very good like that. If you can have the effectiveness of using the lock and load or the grenade launcher, then this would be something that you would pair with this. If you can keep the damage up, then that's all you need with this weapon. Perhaps I want too much out of this weapon. Perhaps this weapon will never be changed. Perhaps I could be wanting something that shouldn't be done to the weapon. Perhaps it's perfect the way it is. Perhaps I want to make it overpowered. It's really something that has to be considered if this thing is going to ever be changed. And with Pyro, a new Pyro update coming on the horizon and a heavy update, it seems like the last thing that's going to be considered is a secondary weapon for the Demo Man. If anything, if this has not been touched in 6 years other than model updates and whatnot, so the possibility of it even being changed soon could be zero. There's probably a more need to change a heavy or Pyro right now than Demo Man. And seeing as nobody really cared for anything to do anything to this thing for 6 years, just probably means that it's not going to be any different maybe 2 years or 3 or 4 years until maybe the end of Team Fortress 2. It's going to be the same weapon until the very end. But I'm not sure. I would hope that it would be changed, but I'm not getting my hopes up. Mostly because my ideas are probably terrible. But what do you all think? Do you think that this should be changed, or that it should be the same old weapon for all of Team Fortress 2's lifetime? As the War Update blurb said, get your thinking pants on, because the Scourge of Resistance is the thinking Demo Man's sticky bomb launcher. Thank you all so much for your time. This has been HR Brian. Thanks for your time. God bless, and happy gaming.